Work. It's too
That's
bright.
funny.
Hey, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. It's Mike and Scott, and we're going to be taking your calls for the next hour. So settle in. We're going to get started here in a couple of minutes. It's the BOGP Open Line, getting everything set. So what's up, Scott? You've been watching football today, and I went out and
I really didn't. I ran like 30 minutes on the treadmill and watched a little then. But that's about it. We bought So Elizabeth got like a robot vacuum cleaner for Christmas from her parents, and the problem is like she doesn't want to get it going yet because our rugs are like very shaggy. Like in our main floor, our main floor is hardwood, but we have shaggy rugs that we don't think that would work very well, and she hates these rugs. So we ordered some new rugs. They were delivered over Marathon weekend, but our tree was still up. So we took down our tree Friday, I think, and then yesterday we were like, I didn't feel I had a migraine all day yesterday. It was bad. So we didn't do anything yesterday. So we're like today, like, hey, let's get those rugs out. So we moved a lot of furniture. The shortest version of this is we moved a lot of furniture today during the football game, so I didn't really watch any as we were trying to get the rugs ready. The thing is the way they shipped them, like you opened it up and they said, we shipped this in a manner where you'll have to re-roll this rug for 24 to 48 hours so that like it gets like the right flatness. And like, oh my gosh, like
reverse, like
basically we had to reverse how they shipped it. I was like, man, I wish they would have said that like on the outside of
so you could have done it
because we had them for 2 weeks. They've just been sitting.
Exactly. Yeah, no kidding.
So now we have no rugs out. It's just all the hardwood, which Elizabeth's like, oh, I kind of like this actually.
We you know what, we were getting new carpets at our old house, and we had to pull the old carpet up, and Pam did the same thing. He's like, oh, I kind of like the hardwood now. Yeah, well, you already ordered the carpet, like it's being put in like in a week.
Yeah, like, I think I'd rather have the rugs down than all hardwood across. So yeah, we're reversing how they shipped it, and they said they do it for like 24 to 48 hours to like even it out, get all the wrinkles out. We'll have the vacuum in once it's set up too, and then yes, we'll have our new rugs down, which should be good. We're gonna take the shaggy ones and move them downstairs, though, which would be kind of nice.
That's what I did. We took our old rugs from our old house. They're in my where the treadmill is now.
Yeah, so that'll be good.
You know, so my feet aren't cold in the mornings because there's concrete in there. Whoa, hang on. Whoa, we're in the 3 to 6 inch swath of snow. I just saw that on Twitter. Yes, I love when we get snow.
I hate getting snow, especially now. Like Christmas is done, like no snow. I'm done with it.
Well, see, I mean, I was a teacher, so I'm used to like that's free, like money, right? You don't have to go to work, but
yeah,
I could care less now. But I do. I'm a weather nut, so I like snow. We haven't gotten a whole lot this year. I like watching it, but yeah, Wednesday though, not like soon.
Yeah,
we got a winter storm watch. So hey everybody, hope you're doing well. Andrea, Rhonda Lee, Brooke, Marlessa, Ashley, Jeff, Wade, Troy, Adam. Hello everybody. So we could talk about Splash. We could talk about I had some stories here. Hang on. Let's see. Enchanted Tales of Bells coming back. I think that's one of the most underrated things at the Magic Kingdom.
I am like 10 for 10. I don't know the exact number, but I know I'm a perfect record of being one of the knights.
I know you're exact. I'm in a knight.
The Knights of Armor or whatever they're called. I'm a perfect score on that.
Yeah, I think the dad's like you're like.
I'm a little extra though. When they ask you to do the marching man, I'm like going all like crazy because like I don't know why, I just want to be in the show.
I kind of do. Yeah, I've been in it many times, and I've always been a knight. Yeah, just standing.
I've never seen it from a different perspective. I've always been. I've never seen it from the seats.
I have either, to be honest.
Like, is there really a show from the seats? I don't know.
That's true. It's yeah. Okay, let's do this.
I do love that show, and the cottage, like that whole thing is great. I love it.
It is. It's one of the coolest things, and like. The average guest probably doesn't even know it's there. It's crazy. Okay.
It's usually pretty lengthy though to like get to it. Like every time I've done it,
it's
like
not meant for like a lot of people. It's a small experience. Like it is not meant to eat up people.
Yeah, they don't want me like performing for many people, so that's why they keep it.
Like this performance will not feature Scott Gardner. The 3:15 show.
I just want to dance with Belle once though. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So spread the word that we're live on your socials. Okay, we're good. All righty, here we go. Hopefully we'll have a better show than the Bills.
Too soon.
I know. Here we go. Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to the BOGP Open Line for Sunday night, January 22nd, 2023. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents, of course, over at the Magic for Less Travel, where we've been working hard all weekend, booking great vacations for our guests, sending them to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, on Disney cruises all over the seven seas. And, even though Adventures by Disney is closed on the weekends, doing a little behind the scenes stuff for guests with that as well. Always a fun thing. And thank you so much for your support over at the Magic for Less. Don't say that enough. I appreciate that very, very much. So we're going to be here for the next hour. And if you're listening on Thursday, hope you're having a great week. We've almost made it to another weekend. But if you're listening live, we haven't even started. So, just two different perspectives here. That's what podcasting is. So today we're going to be taking your calls for the next hour, having fun. We got a lot to talk about in the Disney community. So joining me for the fun conversation, glad to have him back with us this week. We have Scotty G from Up in the Mitten. What's up, Scott? Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Mike. Had to dust off some of the rust here. It's been like 4 Sundays since I've been on because we had the holidays and we had the marathon. Then, I went out of town last weekend for the long holiday weekend for me. So good to be back. I had to remember how to plug in the microphone and all that, but I think I'm going to get the hang of it by the end of the show. So thanks for having me again.
And the thing is, like on the big shows, like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we do have kind of the OG crew of Ricky and Pam for the last week or two because everybody's back. But your return to that show is imminent because Ricky's going to be having a baby here soon. I mean, I can't remember exactly what her due date is, but
I think it's sometime in March, so we still have a few weeks. But
exactly. But I mean, who knows?
Who knows? There could be some bed rest that comes along with it, right? You never know.
Right. You always say like, you want to make God laugh and make plans, or something like, there's like a saying like that. So could happen. So like, I love that you're waiting there. And plus Pam told me, now here's what she told me. Because Pam, this is probably true. She said she plans on being at Walt Disney World for the entire month of February.
Yeah. So she told me she's going to be gone the entire month of February. I think some of that's on a cruise, but I think they're going to be gone. I'm hoping to get a meal with her at some point in February as well, because it's been a while. But yeah, I think she's going to be gone the entire month.
I mean, how baller of a move is that though? Like when she said that, I was like, she just casually said that, like, I'll be gone for the entire month of February. I'm like, you're living my dream.
What's even better is like, I'm pretty sure Steve is part of that as well. So I'm sure he's going to be putting some remote hours in that month. So good for Steve.
Here's the thing. Like, okay, you're from Michigan. I'm from Missouri. She's from Pittsburgh, right? What a month to be gone from. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she's not like July or, like April, February, one of the worst months ever, up north. I'm just going to be gone for that entire
I'm going to say, I know we have some friends with February birthdays. Love you guys. That's awesome. You have February birthdays, but there's a reason February is 28 days and the shortest month. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Only good thing is spring training. So yeah, no, but she's going to be, she says she's taking her podcasting gear with her, but we know how that is. You get down to Walt Disney World, you get busy and things like that.
Last thing you want to do is podcast. You and I, even we did it over Marathon Weekend. Like, we're going to interview everyone and do these voice memos. And then you're just having so much fun. Like, we've talked to so many people. We interacted with so many people. We're like, oh, dang, we could have gotten out the microphones. Yeah. Like,
I know.
We got to do better at that too.
We will. So, okay. So we're going to be taking your calls over the next hour, 407-413-9395. Got so many great calls last week. So thanks to everybody who did call. And please.
Oh, but I'm not here to get the good calls.
Well, I mean, I had to beg, because you weren't here. It was going to be me talking to myself for an hour, or Riley, or, whoever was here in the room. So everybody bailed me out and they were very kind to do that. But tonight I thought we'd kind of hit some of the big news. Of course, today, Splash Mountain, last day, the last splash in Frontierland at the Magic Kingdom. And the crowd's built quick. Of course, I'm watching this on social media because, it's kind of a historic day to watch, and here's my real quick hot take on this. Not even a hot take. Here's the thing. Do I love Splash Mountain? Yes. Because that was like the ride that was in Frontierland. Like I remember when Paige was little, right? She's 26 now. I remember, coaxing her to go down that big hill. It's like, it's a part of our Disney history, Splash Mountain. I don't think you have to be a bad person if you like Splash Mountain or going to miss it. But I'm also excited for the future. Like things change, everything changes, everything gets updated. Like I don't think you have to be like it. When you go on Twitter today, it's like you have to pick a side. That bothers me.
You shouldn't have to pick sides.
You shouldn't have to. Like I like the old one, and I'm excited for the new. Right? I mean, is this because I don't see a lot of that happening today on social media.
Thank you so much, Mike. This is why we get along so well. So like, I think it's well documented and well known that Splash Mountain is my favorite attraction at Magic Kingdom. One of my all-time favorite attractions at any Disney park. I absolutely love it. But you know what? I'm not mad about it. I want change. I want to see some new things. And the ride is essentially going to be the same. I
You're
feel
not
like
going
it's,
to change the
yeah,
channel. You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
On the same spot, I'm sure.
Yeah, the track is going to be the same. You're just going to retheme it with some Princess and the Frog, which is one of the greatest movies ever. I know it's relatively newish still, like 15 years, but I call it a classic. It's amazing. And what I'm worried about, Mike, this is the one thing I'm worried about. Like, don't go like Frozen Ever After on it, right? Like, really do some good stuff with the
Right.
animatronics and like keep it themed well. Like, that's what I'm worried about. Like, don't go cheap on it. Like, that would be doing Splash Mountain harm. Just do a really good job, theme it up. It's going to be awesome. And honestly, like I didn't even write it in 2022. And it's my favorite attraction.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote it at Disneyland, but I didn't write it at the World because you know why? Like, the effects like hardly ever work these days. You know what I mean? Like, I love it when the like water like shoots across like overhead, and like I haven't seen that work in ages. It seems like so it felt like whether it was going to be like a refurbish for Tiana, it was going to have to go through a long overhaul because it just hasn't worked in a while. So very excited about it. Bummed that I didn't ride it one last time this weekend or whatever, but not really because I'm so excited for the future and what it holds for Splash Mountain. So.
Same, but I like seeing though today because like the wave of people, it rope dropped this morning heading back that way, and I saw somebody tweet like there was a random family from like Chicago that are like, is there something going on special today? Like, why is it always like this? Like they got caught up in the wave. Like,
so I had to do that. So my boss is down there for their first family trip ever, and I've been helping her plan a lot of it, And I shot her a message yesterday. I'm like, just to let you know, like the park is going to be filled with what they call bloggers and vloggers and social media people. And so the park might feel crowded, but they're really going to be like in one area most of the day. And then like we're tied up, we're synced on, my just experience so I can help her get photos and such. Like they did it. I saw a photo of them and I was actually kind of jealous. Like, dang, they actually got on. That's pretty awesome.
Last day ride. Nice.
Their first time and their last time.
That's right. Like a lot of people with Harmonious over the past little bit, but yeah, it's great. It's one of those things. Like the thing is too, it's a make sense conversion if you look at it from my perspective, because Splash Mountain's kind of like a deep south kind of theme as it was built, in the late 80s or whenever it came online in the 90s, I think. And New Orleans is where Tiana, it's deep south, and the music is killer in Princess and the Frog. It's probably the best part of the movie.
It's so good. That's a Randy Newman soundtrack, I think. And it's so good.
Yes. I mean, everybody be singing when you come off it. I mean, Splash Mountain had good music too, but I mean, this is even better. It's
going to hit home with a bigger audience too, I think. But the one thing, and I want everyone that's watching this tonight live and everyone that's listening on Thursday after this episode's done, or even pause it right now if you're listening on Thursday, is YouTube the Splash Mountain rap from Disneyland. That is one of the greatest commercials of all time. The Splash Mountain rap. I love it. I watch it almost every week, at least once, because it just puts a smile on my face. I think we need to do something I hope there's like a spin-off of that somehow when like the Tiana redo comes on, like the Tiana rap or something. That would be amazing. Yes. I love that so much.
I agree. I mean, that was a sign of the times though when Splash Mountain came online. Like there was a lot of that stuff in there.
They had the construction workers with their shovels and the dancing. That was, if you haven't seen it, you have to do yourself a favor and see it. It's the best thing ever.
I think it might have been one of the Village People. I'm just saying.
It might have been.
It could have been.
And like the sweater, like we just did the Run Disney race, the 30th anniversary, and like the colors, that was themed to that race. Like everyone was wearing colors like that in this commercial. The main guy's got this crazy like Mickey sweater that's all pink and yellow, and like, oh my gosh, it's the best thing. Oh, I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, Jeff was there, and I was talking to him on social media. I know he got his press pinning. I saw that the line for the press pinning machine at Splash Mountain, like they were having to reload that sucker because everybody. I mean, it's a souvenir. I get it. It's a piece of Disney history. I'm just.
I just wish like the gift shop would have been opened in the last year so I could actually bought like some merchandise. You know what I mean? Because I said like it was my favorite attraction. I absolutely love it. It's just a bummer I don't have like a plush or anything, but it's okay. I have the memories, and that's the most important.
That's it. I got the memories, pictures, stuff like that. Okay, another thing that's happening too this week, and we can talk about again. We'll take your calls in a second. I'm excited when I saw this. Of course, two things coming back to the Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom's almost back to 100% pre-pandemic, experiences. The aerial meet and greets coming back, which is very cool. That
I love that thing. I have so many great photos of that and great memories with our families. Even like the Romans and Gardners, like just like surrounded by Ariel is one of my favorite photos that we have, and like we're color coordinated too, which is weird. But
It was, but then the one I'm super excited for because it really kind of sat there just sadly in the middle of New Fantasyland was Enchanted Tales with Belle. It just that cottage just sat there and it almost like it was like a prop for 2 years. Just
yeah,
if you were somebody that didn't know, you're probably like, well, what is that? Like, what is that? Just like a like a fake building? And the thing is about that, we kind of talked about this in the pre-show before we went live, but I think this is one of the most underrated experiences anywhere on property because of the technology, because of how it's a hybrid experience. It's a semi meet and greet. It's a show. You and I, we joke because we're always picked as a night. It's participatory. I mean, like you said, we don't know what the show looks like unless you're standing there holding.
I've never seen the view from the audience. I've always been a knight of armor, 100% of the time, and I've done this a lot.
Exactly. But everybody has a good time with that. We always enjoyed being in the show, and our kids, like, when they're little, they got a kick out of that. And, you got I think they got like little trading cards at the end from Belle, like an autograph. It was just such a neat thing. And you got to go through the magic mirror and everything. Got to go to Maurice's cottage.
Mrs. Potts, like how they like interact with you when they decide who's going to be in the show too. And like, and it is like, it is a full character meeting because at the end, like, even if you weren't in the show, everyone gets an opportunity if they want to take a photo with Belle. There's like a photo pass person in there. So it's a cool way, instead of like waiting 45 minutes in a line to do like a princess meet and greet, like you can do the interactive show and still get the meet and greet, which I think is a win. Like it's just an awesome attraction. I love it.
Okay, this is it. I'm throwing up a poll on Twitter because Wade has also always been a knight as well. I think.
So what happens if you, me, and Wade are in line? There's only 2 nights. Who's going to get it?
Also, all nights.
We need to experiment and see which 2 of us gets picked and who watches from the peanut gallery.
Oh, that's so funny. I'll have to do that. But I'm glad that's back because I think that's one of those things that, that is truly a Disney experience. That's one of those things I think when you go home, more than a ride, even on Splash Mountain or Space Mountain or Big Thunder or, what have you, the TTA, when you go home, you're more likely to talk about, especially little kids will be like, remember we walked through the magic mirror? Like we were looking at it and all of a sudden we just walked right through it and boom, the wardrobe came alive and Lumiere talked to us. And, Belle came out and, gave us an honor. I mean, all this was on one attraction, it's multi-steps. It's almost like a mini Rise of the Resistance. If you think about it, I mean, way in a very small package, but it goes like, it's not just one thing. It's multiple steps through an experience.
And the best part is if your child is chosen to be the Beast, they get to dance with Belle. Like get your camcorder out. I mean, that is like the coolest moment ever. Like they play Beauty and the Beast and your child is dancing with a princess. It's unbelievable. It's so good, Mike.
Couple of things. So we got the dates for Flower and Garden. I can't believe we're talking about Flower and Garden already, but I mean, it is, mid-January. So 2023 Epcot Flower and Garden Festival starts on March 1st and goes through the 5th of July. So, hey, here's the deal. Folks going on the Be Our Guest podcast cruise, if you're going down pre-cruise, which you should be, that we don't miss the boat literally, you can swing by Epcot and go to the Flower and Garden Festival as it's wrapping up. See, the good part about this is Epcot looks the most beautiful of the year during Flower and Garden and lots of extra snacks. I know you're a fan of Flower and Garden yourself.
It's my favorite festival. I mean, I love art. I love the wine, the food and wine and the Christmas one, but there's something, the holiday one, there's something about Flower and Garden, and you just hit it. It's the most gorgeous it's ever looks. Now I always say, like, why can't they just do this 100% of the time, with like the flower beds and everything? Like it looks so good. And I do have like a tie to it because our first trip was like early March and it was happening on our first trip. So it always takes me back to like those first trip memories. But what gets me, Mike, is like Princess Race Weekend like burns me every year because they don't need a festival during Princess Weekend. Like it's the cutoff for the arts festival is right before Princess starts, and then Flower and Garden starts right after. Like I miss it because of Princess Weekend every year. Sometimes we'll see some topiaries while it's being set up over Princess, but that means I got to make another trip somewhere in April or May. They kill me with that.
I'm just excited because I love Festival of the Arts, but I never get down because of Marathon, right? Because again, if you're running the races, Marathon and Princess, you tend to miss Festival of the Arts
every time.
Garden. because they were like, we don't need a festival. All the runners are coming then. But I'm going down for some work stuff with the Magic for Less. I get like 3 days, and yeah, I'm excited that I get. I'm a dork, but I love my favorite thing is the sidewalk chalk stuff on the ground. I
love
like
that.
that and the snacks.
I love the Broadway like live performances is so good. Like I love like the Broadway shows they do in the theater. And then like sometimes you get lucky, you can see the sidewalk chalk in action, which is
right.
even
That's
more
like,
incredible.
yeah. I almost hope it rains or something the day before. Like they got, I mean, it's mean, you know, because these people, those things are like works of art that should be hanging in a gallery somewhere. But it's like, I kind of hope it rains. Like I start over so I can watch the progression, you know, over a day or two.
Yeah, it's a great festival. I usually come back with a piece of art. As you know, I love like hanging out resort art or any type of Disney art in the house. So we usually come back with a piece, which is always nice. Hopefully, like we try to get it signed by an artist too, which is even cooler. Like when you actually interact with the artist and they can personalize it, you know. But dang, like now I feel like I need to go down in early February too and come hang out with you.
Dude, I'm at Riverside the 6th to the 9th. Come on. I'm only there for it's a few days. It's Monday to Thursday, I think. Anyway, so we'll talk. One other thing I want to talk about, there's a couple of other news stories, but we'll just call it after this one because I think this is pretty cool. So you know that Disney Cruise Line celebrating the silver anniversary at sea with a lot of sailings this summer. Our podcast cruise is one of the sailings that we're celebrating with Disney Cruise Line on. And they announced that there's going to be a new fireworks show on our sailing, most of the sailings for the summer. And here's the coolest thing, because I know we're excited because we're Castaway Club members and we've been on many cruises and we tend to get the same gifts. You know, like I'm platinum, so I've sailed, you know, maybe 20 cruises, so I've got a lot of I got a lot of like
tote bags and
tote bags,
lanterns and
a ton of those. But they told you were just mentioning you like art, framed piece of artwork, and looks pretty cool. Because I have a place to hang something, so I was like, ooh. The one thing is though, it's going to be a little challenging. Like right, you're giving everybody a piece of artwork, people got to get on an airplane to go home. A little challenging. I think it's like a 11 by 14. It's not huge, but I like it. Like, what a great memory to remember your cruise by. And I'm excited that they're recognizing Castaway Club members.
I love it. Anytime they could switch it up, like I wish they would almost do like something new every year for like
same.
Because most not every Castaway Club member cruises every year, but like if they could switch it up every couple of years with the gifts, that'd be so awesome. So I like it. And I'm so excited for a new fireworks show. Like, get out. That's so awesome.
Right. I'm excited too. Okay, so let's get to the phone lines. It's 407-413-9395. 407-413-9395. Give us a call. We can talk about this or anything that you want to talk about. I will say, I'm planning this Friday when we talk with Ricky and Pam to have the topic of the show be a deep review of Coronado Springs. So if you have any tips or hidden thoughts on Coronado Springs, let us know, because that way we can include those in our conversation.
It's an awesome resort.
Well, yeah, it is. Okay, we have our first call of the night. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike, it's Chris from New Jersey.
Hey, Chris, what's going on? Say hey to Scott.
What's going on, Scott?
Hey, good to hear from you, Chris.
Yeah. So I actually just got back. I did the last Flash trip, the 2-day trip, solo trip. Really awesome time. A lot cramped in the 2 days. Actually landed this morning at like 8:30, so still a little groggy, but overall great trip.
So give us the highlights. I mean, obviously you got to do Splash. I know you're focused on Festival of the Arts, getting some time over at Epcot. So some highlights.
Yeah. So, it was the first time over at the All-Star Resorts. And I had some concerns going into it. That turned out to be awesome. There was a little issue with the room when I first got in, but they kind of ironed it out for the next day. I mean, it was a minor thing. They put me in a handicap accessible room, so the bathroom was everything that I was expecting. I'm looking at the pictures of the renovated rooms, and then I got into that. It was just a little disappointing, but anyway, they ended up getting me straight away in a new room the next day, so that all worked out. I did get to ride Splash Mountain one last time on Saturday. I went back to Magic Kingdom to try and get on again, and I actually had to get a bathroom off the ride. So that was pretty cool, actually. Again, if I hadn't gotten on the day before, I would have been annoyed, but, it was actually pretty sharp to kind of see behind the scenes and get walked off with everybody. So that was pretty interesting, for sure.
That is pretty cool. A little behind the scenes on the last last opportunity there for quite a while. That's sweet.
Oh yeah. And it was pretty cool. I mean, they walk you through some of the show scenes, and you got to go inside that mountain, and it's all completely unfinished in there. So, pretty sharp to see it. From inside the thing. Festival of the Arts, that was amazing as well. That was the only festival I haven't done. So that ended up being really good. I mean, all the food was amazing. I will say Friday much better than Saturday. Saturday was insane. All of the lines were out of the switchbacks and kind of wrapping around various areas just to get food and stuff. So I skipped it on Saturday, but Friday hit a lot of the food groups, and they could have rolled me out of there by the end of it.
So
it was a good time.
I'm lucky because I'm going on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, so rock on, because that way the locals hopefully everyone's got a job and they'll be doing their job while I'm playing. So what was the one best snack that you found? Because I'm gonna have limited time, so I need to be like on point here. I can't mess around.
So the deconstructed BLT. So that was basically pork belly, poached egg. There was some kind of jelly jam, some kind of situation on the side there. But that was amazing. That was definitely one you cannot miss. Had a lot of other good things as well, but that was definitely the star of the show for me.
When I see because I've seen pictures of those there's a lot of deconstructed things at this festival, like snacks.
Yeah.
It reminds me back in the day when McDonald's, because I'm old, right? McDonald's used to have that burger that was like the lettuce and stuff was on one side. This was back when they used to serve it in styrofoam. Like all the cold stuff was on the one half and the burger was on the other. And then you had to put it together, so everything was fresh. It's like, you got to do work. Yeah. Like, I guess it's art. I don't know, but okay. Everything's deconstructed.
I was just kind of taking a piece of each thing and mixing it together. And it's great. So I went with it.
Yeah, around here we don't do that, but I mean, it's fancy, so it's art. I'll go with it. No, it sounds good. I'll give it a shot. I do love a good BLT.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And like I said, there was plenty of other things. I did get the after all the uproar last year, I did get the Figment and popcorn bucket. Pretty easy process. You just select a check-in and pop by, and you just walk in, take 2 seconds, and I was out of there. So I was actually in Magic Kingdom when I did the mobile order for it. So you could select the window, obviously after park hopping, and just pop over there and go grab it. So that was pretty cool as well. That whole area had some good food too. It's all kind of dessert focused stuff. But I got like a fruit pizza that was amazing. Basically just a slice of watermelon, had some fruit on top. It's pretty good though. But yeah, overall great trip. The one thing I would say about the Oscars, by the way, really note I was in the Mighty Duck building. Ended up just utilizing the All-Star Music Bus. I told you I played like bus roulette basically. Whenever bus came up, I would kind of go into. So for this one, whichever of the 3 resorts came up, I would just jump on if I was going back to the hotel. All-Star Music happened to be, that bus stopped right next to, the Mighty Duck building. So I would just pop right over there. It's so easy. Even in the morning, when I was going to the parks, it was just so much closer. Definitely
great
pro tip for anybody staying at the All Stars.
That's a great tip. I do the same for Pop and Art of Animation, whichever one. And a lot of times, Art of Animation will have that like stretchy bus, so I'll stop down there and just walk across. What's another 500 steps in the course of a week. I'd rather just get back 20 minutes early. Well, sounds like you had a good trip, man. That sounds fun.
That was another thing. I mean, I told you I might do the 4 parks in one day. I ended up doing 3 parks, on Saturday. So not the full thing, and I was kind of beat by the end of it. And we also had, the Giants fan. So unfortunately for me, I watched the Giants-Eagles game at Rick's in Coronado Springs, and there happened to be a large party of Eagles fans kind of hovering behind me. And that was pretty. They sung, their fight song basically after every touchdown.
Yeah, I can imagine there's quite a bit of Fly Eagles Fly going on there.
Oof. it was pretty rough. But,
Yeah.
I took my licks and I stayed for the whole game, and it is what it is. But
I hear it. No,
Yeah.
it's a risky take when you watch a playoff game in a public area, man. I've been there. I've been there. And you know what? Philly fans, man.
I knew I had it coming.
Philly fans, man.
I
You gotta
knew
watch.
I had it coming. That day, like I said, was so crowded. And I basically went to my studio that day, popped over to Epcot just so I could take the monorail over to Magic Kingdom and try and run Splash one more time. And during that walk around World Showcase, it was just, everybody's wearing their jerseys. And there was Kansas City fans, there was all the Jaguars fans, but the most I was seeing was people in Eagles jerseys. So I kind of knew I was in for going out in the public space. But, I decided to go for it. I took my Giants jersey on, and I got heckled quite a bit. But,
That's
I
part of
did
it.
what it is. Better luck next year.
It totally is what it is. Hey, the best fandom, I still say the best fandom at Walt Disney World's LSU fans. There's nothing like LSU fans, man. They're everywhere at Walt, especially during Mardi Gras. They're everywhere.
Which has been Princesses this year, so you're going to see a lot of it.
Yeah, totally. And Joe Burrow now. Oh, look out! If they win the Super Bowl, oh my God, look out!
Yeah.
Well, Chris, sounds like you had a good trip. We have a bunch of folks on the board, but thanks for the quick mini trip report. It was awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to jump on.
All right, take care. Next season, go Giants. I almost said Eagles. My bad. I almost did it to you again. All right, see you, buddy. All right, bye. Oh man, I just gave him a go Eagles.
You're so mean.
I am so mean because I was thinking about Jalen Hurts, and he had a big game. All right, let's get to the next call here. I believe it is Jeff, who is down at. I think he's still at Walt Disney World right now. Jeff, what's going on?
Not much. No, I'm back home. I was in Disney for less than 24 hours.
Oh man, you were there and you're already back home. Good deal. So give us the highlight of being at Splash Mountain today.
Oh, let's see. The rope drop was amazing. Actually met a family from Louisiana. It was their first trip. Actually wrote it with them, and then actually gave them the photo pass download so they didn't have to pay for it.
Good deal. Were they LSU fans?
They were. They were wearing LSU contracts.
See, it proves my point. They're everywhere.
Thankfully, I didn't have to wait too long. My mom, she didn't write it. She was taking pictures. People were just literally setting up all of the Splash Mountain plushes in front of the drop on the bridge, or on top of the wall on the bridge. There were a couple people dressed as the characters. Some people were crying.
Oh, I don't know if I'd cry. That's a little dramatic. I mean, it's all right. Come on, people. Now, well, if it's Carousel of Progress or Illuminations, I think Dr. Kai and I shed a tear together that night. That was kind of sad. And Katie and Jillian, we were all watching. Yeah. There were a bunch of our listeners watching the last Illuminations together. That one did hurt. That was a little rough. I get okay. If Splash Mountain was your thing, maybe you could cry. I shouldn't say that. I'm being mean. I shouldn't have said that.
But it was funny. Of course, it's the last day for Splash, and I wear my new 50th Disney World hat, and I forgot to take it off and Splash Mountain took it back.
No way! On the last day, you donated a hat on Splash.
Yes, and it's no longer available in Shop Disney. You have to go to like eBay or something to buy another one.
Oh man, that's the worst. Yeah, you might be able to say though you gave the last hat on Splash Mountain. It could be. I would go with that. Nobody's really gonna. There's no way to confirm that. Well, I would say I gave the last hat on.
I can't because I was live streaming my last ride on Twitch, and the family I was with, the dad in the front row, you could see his hat fly off on the things up.
No way. Oh, bad luck.
Yeah, if I could have seen it faster, I could have caught it. It hit me right below my hand.
Right. Oh, well. I wonder if that'd be another. We talked about this. We did a show a few weeks ago. Like, if you could ask one cast member one question, kind of like related, I'd love to know, like, in the history since that ride opened, how many hats were lost on that ride?
I think Fine Drain is the one that gets the most. Like that. There's one hill. Like every time I like ride it and I go into my photo, there's at least one person with their hat flying off. It's hilarious.
But I bet Splash Mountain. Do you think like over the course of the ride, you think 10,000 hats? I mean, what's that like a hat a day? Probably more than that.
10,000 hats in a day? Are you kidding
No,
me?
10,000 over the course of the attraction.
Okay.
Probably like one a day. It's probably been open. I guess it would be like 10,000 days. I don't know. I'm not doing the math right now, but
Yeah,
that's a lot of hats.
Well, it's been open almost 31 years.
31. Yeah. So yeah, there's more than that then probably. Holy cow.
Yeah.
It's a racket.
But,
it's a Disney hat eating machine, so you got to buy more hats. We need to contact like Inside Edition or something.
Yeah. No, I don't know if you saw, but I guess recently the people from Attractions Magazine, they were writing Splash Mountain, and they happened to be behind Imagineers testing the audio for the Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. I don't know what. Yeah, it was a crazy 24 hours for me. So I literally woke up yesterday, went to work, got Epcot for yesterday, got a Guardians boarding group all at work, got off work, drove down, got on Guardians around 7:00, did a couple stops around World Showcase, and working this morning, did Splash Mountain, went to Gideon's and left.
Man, that's crazy.
I'm tired just hearing that.
No, seriously. I'm glad.
That's more tiring than running 26.2. I'm telling you.
No kidding. That's nuts. At least I'm on vacation when I'm there.
But, well, I mean, yeah, it's a little different. I'm only a 2-hour drive away, so it's a little easier for me.
Yeah, but that's like when I go to Mizzou, like, I go there because it's about 2 hours away. Like I go there, sit down, watch a football game, drive home, and I'm tired. Like, and I don't have to walk around a theme park. I sit there and park and watch Mizzou usually lose to some other SEC team and, come home disappointed. I go on the way there. I'm always excited. We're going to pull it upset. Come home, reality, like tough game, think about it for 2 hours and come home sad. Yeah. Life of a Mizzou fan.
But
I guess it just doesn't matter more for Mizzou, though. Huh?
Not usually.
but it's so speaking of the cruise, me and my mom were gonna go on it, but then she was like, I kind of want to go to Italy for 10 days instead. And now we're going to Italy at the end of April for 10 days.
Wow, that'll be sweet.
Yeah.
Man, that'd be.
But I'm gonna let some other guys get on here.
All right, well, Jeff, hey, thanks for the update, and glad you got that last ride and got to have that experience, and got to a little Big Ten helping out the LSU fans down there from the SEC. I like that cooperation.
Oh yeah.
I'll see you, buddy. You take care.
Yeah.
All right. Bye. What did
it would have been cool to like try to done the ride today. Like that would have been kind of fun. Like the atmosphere, I think, would be pretty fun.
I agree. It would have been. But here's a question I was going to ask you though. Would you, because the posted wait time right now is 230 minutes. Would you wait 230 minutes? Like right now, like it is the last day. And so you're at the Magic Kingdom.
If I'm there, I probably would. But my story is different because I go all the time. So I don't care if I'm going to waste like 3.5 hours waiting in a line. I mean, that's a ton of time though. Like
I might do it if it was like you and I together, right? Because I'd have to have somebody there just to hang out with. Like,
that's the thing.
I would
standing in line isn't that bad if you got like good company, right? Like you're just like talking, like it's just the standing for that.
Oh, dude, I know that's how I know I'm getting old because I'm like, dude, can I stand that long? Like I need a chair. I'd be sitting on the rails and stuff. Anyway, we have our next call. Hey, who's joining us?
Hey, Mike and Scott. Michael from Charlotte.
Hey, Michael. How's it going down to Charlotte tonight?
Man, it's been about a low 40s and rainy day. That's kind of what we get in the wintertime. It doesn't get cold. It doesn't ever get cold enough and wet enough to snow regularly. So we're lucky if we get one. So typically this is a wintry day for us. Just kind of nasty out.
That is the worst, because I always tell, because my wife's a teacher and I was a teacher, right? So we're always like, if it's going to be cold, it may as well snow. Like, because snow's pretty. Snow sometimes gets you out of school, and it's exciting, but you don't want it to be like, 42 and raining. That's just miserable. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's kind of whether you guys get down there, but what can you do?
Hey, so I was catching up on some shows the last week or so, and loved the marathon recap, and I love the Ask a Cast Member question. So I'm going to kind of combine the two and ask you guys a question. Well, what I would ask a Run Disney cast member: how many of those Bob's Barricades do they put out for the marathon?
I've wondered that myself.
I don't know if it's Bob's Barricades any longer. It was the last time I ran, but I think maybe last time we were there, we saw a different name on them or something.
Yeah, I don't think it is Bob's anymore, but it was Bob's for years.
It was, because people would dress up as like Bob's Barricade cones.
Yeah,
like those are some of my favorite Run Disney costumes.
Scott, take a step. Okay, let's just talk cones. Okay, the cones. You know, the traditional big, probably 2.5, 3 foot tall.
I mean, how
cones.
many are just on like
Cone Alley?
Well, I wasn't even thinking Cone Alley. I was just thinking like up to the Contemporary there. Like
that too.
There's so many right there. I mean,
yeah.
Because the thing is, like, unless you run a race,
next to each other, there is no space in between those.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
The bases of them.
People probably think if you don't run a race, like in the real world, when you put out cones, there's probably like 5 feet between every cone, right? Not during a race. Those things are butted up against each other for as far as you can see. God,
I don't 1,000
know.
cones. Like I don't know. Like it could
Might
be more
than that.
Yeah. That's
I'd
a
like
great
to see
question,
them
Michael.
like-
I want to know. I want to know that answer so bad.
I'll be laying in bed tonight, like, okay, I'm trying to figure out the math on
I
it.
think for my next race, I'm just going to count cones.
Yeah, exactly. Why are you going so slow? Because I'm counting. It's just about to come up to you, like, you know, at mile 22, like, oh man, I was at 4,722.
Just count the cones for like a certain stride, and then you just know how many strides I do. Multiply that by how many cones at the end. I don't know. It's crazy.
It's inconsistent.
Well, you could probably maybe get a maximum number if you just, and I know they don't have them every mile of the course, like every inch of the course. But I guess if you figure out, I don't know, what is one of the bases, about a foot, 2 feet, whatever it is, and then just figure out the math on the 26.2.
Yeah, where your GPS is like.
But I guess that gives you the high end.
This would be you know what? If I was still teaching my gifted class, this would be my problem of the day. This is the kind of stuff I used to do with my kids. But the problem was I'd have a hard time coming up with like an accurate answer. Like we'd spent, I'd have to throw out my whole math lesson that day because there'd be so many variables. I'd be like, well, okay, here. But then, they'd be like, was there cones for the whole 26.2 miles? I'm like, no, because when you go through the Magic Kingdom, there's not cones, So then we'd have to, okay, we got to figure out, okay, how many miles are you in a theme park? Okay, so let's subtract that. And this would end up being something we'd be late for lunch. We'd start it like when the kids came in. But I would stick with this. God, I bet you 5,000's on the low side, though.
It probably is. But Michael, I thought your question was going to be what my question was, which was how many articles of clothing do you pick up or collect on a race day? Because there's so many throwaway clothes that happen, and I'm curious how much they collect. But I like your question better, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they used to kind of say that number, right? Or I mean, because they pick them up and they wash them and then they donate them, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other equipment. I mean, think about like the stuff that people don't mean to throw away that they lose on the course.
They lose it. I saw AirPods dropped on this last one. I'm like, ooh,
AirPods?
I did. Yeah.
How do you not? Okay, I've heard this argument before. Okay, that's a good point, Scott. I've heard people say, I don't get AirPods because they're so easy to fall out of your ears while you're running, you wouldn't even know it. How would you not know you lost an AirPod? Like all of a sudden you would not hear what you're listening to. Like I'm always listening to a podcast or something. If it falls out of my ear, guess what? I'm no longer listening to my show. Hello.
But the problem is there's so many people behind you, someone's going to step on it and crush it.
Dude, I'm going to kill somebody if they step on my AirPod Pro. Those things are expensive.
But sometimes you can't help it. If it drops right in front of you,
I'll Lawrence Taylor somebody.
I'm just saying there's so many people that would be tough. And it's going to be like bouncing around on
bounce. You're right. They're like rubber balls.
Because they drop from my ears all the time when I run. Like they do not stay in my. I usually have to use like a bonding band just to keep them in place in my ears, or else they fall off.
No, I jam those suckers in, man. I jam them in so far, I almost gag. They're too expensive, man.
And I've seen it. I saw something. You guys will appreciate this. There's some, I guess, probably more than one product where you can now put like strings around or whatever. Like you could attach your AirPods to strings so if they do fall out, and then it's just funny because that's where we were like a few years ago with wired headphones.
I've seen that. Yeah, it just falls kind of on your neck, and they kind of hang on your neck like a top. Yeah, I've seen that. Jennifer, who's here in St. Louis with me, she said she saw an AirPod in her corral. Yeah. Come on, people.
So,
I mean,
I don't know if you noticed them, like in my photos in the full, I wore the wired ones because I cannot afford to lose my headphones on a full marathon day. You're out there a long time. Plus, I don't want them to die, so I always wear wired ones on the full marathon.
Well, here's how I knew it was going to be a long day. I took 2 sets of AirPods because I got the new AirPod Pros 2 because the battery was dying out of my old ones because I use them every morning for like 3 hours. So, and then I use them all day for calling Disney. So the battery was, it doesn't last super long on my original pair. But so what I did was I charged both pair and I took my new pair and started with them. But I was like, I'm going to be out there so dang long that I'm going to probably need 2 pair of AirPods so that I could, swap them out at like mile 18 or runner problems. Anyway, I can't believe people lost AirPods. Somebody lost an inhaler too. Jody's saying.
I see stuff all the time on the course.
Oh.
I didn't see any of this stuff.
Well, I think you see a lot of sunglasses, right? I mean, and I've almost lost sunglasses before, where you like have them on your head when you start, and then you take off your throwaway clothes, and then if you don't catch them, they're gone. You can't see them in the dark.
Yeah. The worst part for me is when I have my headphones on. I mean, I have because the races start so dark, so I have the headphones on my hat, and then it's time to get them on, and like they're so like foggy or whatever. Like maybe it's the Gooders I use. I don't know, but like they're pointless basically because I can't see for the first couple of miles because it's so foggy from like the change in weather, So, but yeah, now that I think about it, I don't know if I've ever lost anything during a race because you pack so much stuff like. Especially for the full marathon, I bring like energy, like snacks with me or whatever. I wear 2 watches, so I sometimes just put my Magic Band like in my pocket because I always want to buy like a margarita or a beer or something during the full marathon. And luckily, knock on wood, I don't think I've lost anything during the full marathon. Mike, you're muted, man.
It was I mean, I was able to recover.
I was just saying when I was muted.
It's just in the beginning of the race, right? I mean, once you get kind of spread out a little bit, it's probably not a big deal, but it's probably that first, 3 or 4 miles getting to the Magic Kingdom in the dark is where, it's just kind of tough.
That's true. I see. Thank God though. Now, were you running this year? Did you do the full marathon?
I did. No, I haven't done, I did Dopey in, I'm looking at my medals, 2015. I think that was the last, maybe 2016 was the last one I did. And then I had meniscus problems in both knees eventually and just kind of gave it up.
Got smart. Got super smart there. No, but here, so there was a guy with a headlamp, thank God, this year because Cone Alley there over by Grand, before you hit Grand Floridian, after you go out the backside of the Magic Kingdom, pitch dark this year. I mean, dark. There were no lights, and it was so bad people were taking out their cell phones and using their flashlights. And I'm real tight on my energy, so like I was just drafting a guy with his phone out and his light, and then I got drafted another guy with his headlamp because I didn't have one, and craziness. Yeah, because I don't bring much. Like Scott, the only thing I bring is my head. I bring my AirPods. That's it, and my phone. I don't have anything else.
That's usually what I bring, unless if it's like a full marathon. I bring more like I bring breakfast with me when I do like the first 7 to 8 miles. I was like holding like a bagel and like peanut butter the whole race. Like my photos are kind of funny because I know I need to eat something. I'm burning like 4,500 calories. I got to get some food in me. So I bring my breakfast and I hold it during the marathon.
I eat that exact thing on the bus. I eat it, before I get there.
Well, I do it on the bus too, but then that's 2:30 in the morning. Like come 8 o'clock, I'm gonna be hungry again.
That is true. That's a good point. So now,
and that's one thing. No matter how much you always try to train for when you're gonna start. I mean, you just can't simulate you're not gonna get up. Most people aren't gonna get up at 2 in the morning and then eat at 4 and then eat again at So, it's just a crapshoot whether you're going to feel great food wise or not, and you just got to roll with it.
Yeah, my first marathon in 2015, I was doing the exact training plan, right? I think we started getting in trouble once we get a little confident, once we've done a few marathons, that we just slack off. And I ran into it this year with that because I just decided to do things my own way. But I was following the plan to the letter in 2015 for my first marathon. It did me well when I got there, but I remember that last long 21-mile run. Like I had peanut butter and jelly, those Uncrustable things, like in little pouches, the Smuckers things. I had those in my mailbox in my neighborhood. So I planned it so I'd come by at mile, 10, and I could pull into the mailbox, grab a Smuckers, eat it real quick, and then, mile 18, get another Smuckers. And then it froze them so that they would be, thawing out the whole time. It's strategically planned. Now I just, I'm at God's mercy at this point. Out there, maybe I'll get a piece of chocolate. Maybe I'll get a, energy shot. Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't make it. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what happens.
Did that so many times with Elizabeth. I'm like, just track me at this time, 2 hours from now, and then just bring me some water because I don't want to hold a bottle of water the whole time.
Right. I'd hide it. Yeah, totally. Same thing. It's so funny.
Yeah.
Good memories though. Good stuff.
I'll get off. I just wanted to throw out the Bob's Barricade question, and I'll let some other folks call in. And
I love it.
Always good talking to you guys.
We need to start like a Disney sports book or something. The over-unders on the on these kind of questions, like Bob's Barricades at Run Disney 2023 Marathon Weekend. 5,000's the number. Where are you going? And this would have to somebody have to get.
Maybe we can ask Riley or Pelkey.
Yeah, he doesn't care. I think those guys care about me coaching there, but that'd be funny.
Maybe they can find out by Princess for us. They can start doing some research.
If he interviews me, I'm gonna be like, dude, burning question. You asked about our podcast. Here's the question: how many cones? And please watch your step.
And those are the cones they put out for the races. And I mean, think about all the other thousands of cones and barricades that they have for the construction. I mean, they always have. You see those things everywhere.
Oh no, I think they pick them up from the construction zones during the race, put them on the course, and then quickly, once we all finish, they put them back into the construction areas.
All I know is that Bob is probably living well.
Bob is rich. Exactly. Bob is loaded.
He's not even doing the work either.
He's
got his teams doing it.
Big orange mansion.
His house is the shape of a cone. He lives at the Cozy Cone Motel.
Oh, so true. Hey, thanks for the call, Michael. It's been so much fun talking, and don't be a stranger. Have a good week.
Yeah, you too, guys.
All right, take care.
Thanks, Michael.
Bye. That's a great question, though. I wonder how many. There's got to be. I mean,
what the cost is to rent them?
Because and no kidding. If you touch those things, they're heavy. They're substantial. I bet you every cone. Again, here we go.
This is why the doping registration costs so much. Is for the cones.
Exactly. I bet you by the way, I went on RunDisney.com today to sign up for Club Run Disney. You can't sign up for it anymore. It's closed. I was going to give in because I want to run the Disneyland race so bad, but you can't.
I'll find a way to get in.
I got to get into that race.
That's the best. The 10K at Disneyland, as long as it doesn't change, is the best race course I've ever done in my life. I mean, there's nothing better than a Disneyland 10K. It's so great.
I just want to go to Disneyland again, but I really want to run out there. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to do the challenge. I want to do all of them, but I just want to get out there. I mean, but I'm
freaking out because it might be finals for Emily, and Emily's got to go out there. I mean, I'm not going to Disneyland without Emily, so we'll see. Maybe I will be.
Your boy, let's go. You got to go. We got to go. Wade's going. He doesn't know it yet, but he's going. I don't know if he was or not, but he is now.
Wade will probably be in Hawaii.
He might be. Yeah, he's going. By the way, Cowboys kicker missed another extra point.
You're kidding. You're kidding. Did that really happen?
It got blocked. Because Jonathan's in the live chat.
Oh, no.
Jonathan, put on your jersey and go start swinging the leg.
That poor guy.
I know, man. He's got the yips.
Yeah, and it's not like he's a bad kicker, it just happens,
I know, man.
It happens to golfers, you get the shanks,
I get nervous about that about the podcast. Well, the good news about a podcast is a lot of times I'll forget how to start the podcast. I'll be like, because what I do is I do the ad read at the beginning of the show, and then I do the beginning of the podcast, and a lot of times I'll forget which one's which. And I'll be like, wait, that didn't sound right. So I have to go back, and it's like the podcaster yips. And I get them sometimes. Anyway, it's not good. All right, we have time for about one more call. 407-413-9395. What are your thoughts on the last splash? Do you think this will affect Big Thunder Mountain, like the crowds? Do people stop going back there because, you used to get 2 e-tickets if you took the effort to go back there? You think people will, say it's not worth it?
I think everyone's going to go back there. Big Thunder is such a great coaster. And it's thundier at night. So yeah, I think people still go back, because the thing is, like Splash is down a lot, and like the weather really impacts Splash Mountain too. Like on a cold day, like people might not want to do Splash Mountain, but they can still go over to Big Thunder. So I don't think it's going to make any impact to Big Thunder. It's just going to make it busier, actually.
I wonder too, like how much, like the construction walls, how much is it going to look like a construction zone? Because, it's going to be hard to hide. It's such a big, tall, massive attraction. Yeah. Like, how do they, do they put a big scrim up, or, I'm sure there's going to be walls like at guest level, for probably 6 feet, and then maybe a scrim.
But the outer part of it might not change that much. I think a lot of it's going to be in the inside and the audio, so maybe we won't see that much.
Like Jeff said, here's one of those things that I want to bring up too, is that he mentioned that the Imagineers were like going through and doing audio tests like already. I don't understand that. Like, if this ride's going to be down for like 2 years, like what's the purpose of doing that like a day early? You know what I'm saying? Like, chill out, like do it, start working on that tomorrow. It just seems like that's so weird. Like, why would you be in there?
The audio has been, that's another reason why I haven't done it in a while. The audio has been so poor on that lately. Like, you can't hear things. So like, this is going to be twofold. They're going to really spruce it up. They're going to get all the effects working, and get the audio right, and they're going to theme it to Tiana. Now do a Frozen Ever After. It's going to be epic. I can't wait.
Oh, and the kickers from Nebraska. I'm not saying, you can't say a word. Wade, I love you, brother. These nails. Anyway, okay, we have our last call today. I think it's Vero Mike. Mike, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Mike? What's up, Scotty? How you guys tonight?
Good. How you doing, Mike?
On in.
This is like the mic show. We're getting like all these mic calls.
This is my mic night. This is a mic check.
Open mic.
Right.
There you go. Perfect.
Microphone check.
Yeah, check.
Yeah, we actually went this past week, Friday and Saturday. We stayed at Bay Lake, and we did Splash for the last time. It was awesome just to go say goodbye, and we're excited for the future, of course.
See, here's the thing. I think most people are just like this, right? Like, I think most people are just like, we have great memories of Splash Mountain. It was an awesome attraction. We loved it, but we also are excited for Tiana. I don't know. Maybe I'm just fine. Twitter's a weird thing, right? Because I didn't give up on Twitter, because I have lots of friends, and that's kind of how I met tons of people, was through social. And I hate Facebook because I have family and stuff on Facebook, and I just
you hate your family. Okay, I get it.
No, I don't hate my family, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't like. There's too much other stuff on Facebook, right? Like, former teachers I used to teach with, and all that. It's a different dynamic. So I don't mess with Facebook. Twitter's, I follow a lot of news sources, so it's more news, but it's also, these people are just like, felt like over the last couple of days, like, man, if you like Splash Mountain, you're a bad person. And if you're excited for the new, the new Tiana, then you're some kind of person. Like, I'm like, God, I kind of like both,
I love both.
Yeah. Weird.
There's been so many classic attractions that have been replaced, and so what are you going to do? Horizons was my favorite.
Mike, we did this together.
Hope you're breaking up just a little bit.
It's all been replaced with good stuff, so we'll be fine.
Now, I would say I never got to do Horizons. I never did. I was there once when it was still around, and I just didn't do it. Like, I guess a bunch of people at the time. But would you say Space is Space 220 Mission Space is better than Horizons? I guess it.
No. Oh my God, no.
I mean, it's
No
more.
way.
It's more of a thrill ride than Horizons was, but yeah, I would love to go
Horizons
back.
is Carousel Progress Part 2. I mean,
Right.
it was amazing. It was incredible. But we got the videos on on YouTube to watch. So
I regret that.
So speaking of Horizons, not to go like off topic from here, like
that's what we do.
I had to warn myself. Like, I was putting on my grumpy. I was a grumpy old man this weekend a little bit. I admit it. the thing that got me the most was the name changes for the Epcot parking lot. Like,
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
so-
That was another thing on Twitter.
like,
that people were
I know, but I love
Yeah.
Discovery. I love Create. I love Imagination. But I love Moana and I love Wall-E. You know, like I had to like calm myself down. I'm like, Scott, it's a parking lot. Why?
Right. Right. I did too.
But I was so fired up at first because like it's like taking original Epcot away. You know, like it got me fired up, and then I was like, Scott, you just gotta stop. Is what I told myself. But I didn't mean to bring that up because I know that's another hot topic too. But like,
No, it's a good idea though. Well, Michael, because you're a longtime Disney fan. What do you think of that change?
Yeah. I actually just saw it for the first time watching. I was watching. I think it was Adam the Woo. He pointed it out. So I was like, oh, that's weird. We took the monorail, so we didn't really get to notice the the change. So it kind of went right past me.
The funny thing is, like, the characters they picked, right? I mean, they could have picked Figment
I thought
if they're
Nemo
looking for a
was one of them.
character. Figment's a character that's in Epcot. No Figment representation.
is there a Wall-E attraction coming? Is what I want to know.
Right. That was kind of cryptic because that would make a
That
good
would be
fit.
cool.
Because they got the Gamora or whatever from
They
Guardians
got
of
they got Rocket. You know, they got
they have Moana.
yeah. So
Chicken.
everything else is like represented, I think, in Epcot except Wall-E. So like, is Wall-E coming? That'd be sweet.
I'd like a
Yeah, that
Wall-E
would be really
attraction.
cool.
That would be cool. But
But
you're right though.
it's
I
funny,
hear
our
Scott's
last-
argument though. Like
Okay, I'm sorry.
I hear Scott's argument though, right? I mean, Epcot at its core is about imagination, creativity, discovery.
When Mike was talking about Horizons, it got me thinking about that. I'm like, oh yeah,
that's
the
a good
parking
point.
lot signs, like, and it shouldn't bother me. And you know what? I'm over it. It's fine. Like, I'm all about the future and like change is good, right? But like, I just feel like they just took out a piece of like original Epcot a little bit, and like it just kind of brought me down. But I'm better now. I'm better.
You know what it is though? They probably surveyed some people, and people are probably more likely to remember they parked the car in Moana than Create. You know, I mean, to be honest, I mean,
yeah.
The average person probably won't like make a connection with the word create or discovery because they're kind of almost like, synonyms. But, like, oh, we're in Moana, and then, your kid sings the song and okay, that's where our car is.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
I know. I'm still an old man about it.
Me too. Get off my porch.
Yeah. It's all good though. It's all good. It's a parking lot. Epcot's parking lot is the best one out of all of them. I was going to say originally because of their names, but it's still the best parking lot.
And the tram's back, I think.
Epcot still needs a hotel out in front for sure.
Yes.
That'd be great.
You think we're going to get that? We've been talking about that for 5 years. Is it going to happen?
Oh, that'd be great.
Just be like California Adventure, man, where you could just have your own entrance. Like, oh man, that'd be so good. So good.
See that. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, we also did the first day of the Festival of the Arts, which was absolutely incredible.
So I need recommendations. I get a quick hit a couple days there, in and out.
The food booths are awesome. Just the vibe, all the great art, all the Star Wars art. We didn't get a Figment popcorn bucket. I was kind of bummed.
So they do sell out like every day.
Like game. Yeah, I didn't realize that it was a virtual line. So I showed up there and they're already sold out. I was like,
Ooh, I wonder if I'll get. So here's my question, because I'm going like on February 6th. I wonder if they'll still have them then. Probably not.
I think they will.
Maybe they're like budgeting so many per day or something. I guess it sounds like.
I think that's what it is.
I mean, I'm not.
If
I don't get one, I don't care.
The Odyssey building is incredible.
Yeah.
What they did in the Odyssey with the Figment character from the old ride and just the art in there is really, really cool.
Yeah, and Ricky was excited for those tables, the like pin tables where I guess you could push your face against.
Yeah, where you put your hand in where the old playground in the imagination was. Yeah, that was really cool.
I remember that from going through back in the day. Mallory and Paige used to like those. Paige especially.
Yeah, we need to bring the Rainbow Tunnel back as well. That'd be pretty cool.
Right. I saw somebody did something with that on like they recreated it on social media or something. It was really neat looking.
Yeah, we saw that was really cool. But we got to meet all the vloggers. We met the trackers and Adam the Woo and all ears. That was really cool to see everybody in the park and to be able to interact with all of them. Because you guys And you and Scotty G are included. You guys are the new rock stars, you know, of Disney. So
hang on, let me give you my wife's phone number so you can tell her that.
No, it's true. You know, and you guys are like, you know, everybody wants to meet all you guys. So that was really cool to do that and get pictures with everybody. So that was definitely the highlight of the festival, to see all the big vloggers there, you know, and that was a lot of fun.
No, I'm the same way. I remember the first time I met Matt Hotchberg and Len Testa and Lou.
Right.
I was like all nervous. You know, I was like, oh man, there's Matt Hotchberg. I wonder if he'll. Yeah,
we saw Adam the Woo in the Tim Tracker, and I was so nervous. And my son's like, oh, Adam the Woo. I was like, oh. So he was really cool. You know, they took pictures with us and everything. So
that's cool.
I love it when people come up to me and like they'll sometimes recognize my wife Elizabeth, and they're like, they don't know her name though. They're always like, oh, you're Scott's wife, and it just cracks me up. Even at the mini golf, remember, Mike? Like, she put her on her name tag, like Scott's wife. No one knows what her name is.
Yeah,
poor Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Well, Mike.
So, yeah. One more thing.
Yeah, well, go ahead.
Splash Mountain, when we went the last time, it was 38 degrees and about 28 with the wind chill when we rope dropped. So that was pretty wild.
That's love right there. That's love.
That was Saturday morning.
I think I'd pass.
And the waterfall was still on, you know, when you finished the ride. So we sat there and just got soaked.
Okay, that's one thing that I hope they get rid of. I don't understand that.
Right.
There's never ever been a reason for that waterfall on the right at the end of the ride, right? The ride's over.
Yep.
You've had your fun,
Yep.
You've gone down the hill, you've seen all the scenes, except for that last, you know, riverboat scene. What's the point? Like, I just sit there, if you're on the right side of the boat, you're like, you just watching, you're inching your way up to that thing. You're like, oh, dude.
I love that thing. It's awesome.
Oh, are we kidding? I hate that thing. You're
love that thing.
Flash on for like, 15 seconds until it goes, and you get to go on. I'm like, oh, I hate that's so annoying.
But what if in the new one it's wet, but then on the left side, there's a guy handing like beignets. So
okay, yeah, well then
right.
I'm always sitting on the left.
So you always be on the left, like,
yeah, like I have some kind of problem with my body. I have to.
But they're only handing it to the person on the right. They're like, "Excuse me, person on the left. This person deserves a beignet because they're sitting on the right."
What if everybody got a beignet?
I think that's what I'm going to do the first time I ride the new one. I know you really shouldn't bring food on an attraction, but I really want to eat a beignet.
I like this idea. Yes, I like this. Just zoop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like the rice is down. Sir, what are you doing?
If they put a beignet stand in like a Cafe du Monde style thing there for, you know, Tiana's ride, that would be really awesome. You know, to have a breakfast option to do the beignets and coffee. Pretty cool.
Well, you know, the line's going to be insane for this for the first year or so, right? I mean, at least how the queue is right now, they put a beignet stand, you know, like as you go in, kind of where that like little kiddie area was, you know, like the little playground slide. You put a little quick beignet stand there, kind of like a little Joffrey stand. Sell beignets, and then you have to finish it off before you get on the ride.
Maybe in the middle of the queue, even like with the outdoor area, you know, where there's like always a cast member there, like watching the switchbacks and sending you up the stairs. They just have a cart of beignets.
Dude, if this doesn't happen, I'll be sad.
Or because remember, like I actually found this today, ironically enough, today, like in the pantry, because I told you, Mike, we were like cleaning the house and stuff. Yeah. Remember when they used to give you the Ziploc bag? Like,
yes, I have. That's what I have my cords in for my computer stuff.
Yeah, I found mine today. Maybe they would just give you a beignet in the Ziploc bag, and then you can eat your beignet, and then But then they got to charge you. I mean, how are they going to make money on that? I guess.
Okay.
So
okay, what time? Because now I got to go to the donut shop after the show.
No brainer.
Oh man.
Oh well, good stuff. Well, Mike, hey, thanks for the call, and you take care. We'll hopefully talk to you next week.
Yeah, guys. Oh, we're gonna be my wife's doing the race in February, so maybe we'll see you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
we'd love to
say, hey, we'd love to see you. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm glad there's no full marathon. All right, take care, Mike. We'll talk to you later.
All right, guys. Later.
What? There's not a full marathon?
No, thank God. I'll be able to sleep between now and then. One other thing I want to mention, Scott, I want to thank you again and Neil for the awesome event that we put on over at Fantasia Gardens, the mini golf event during Marathon Weekend. Got to raise over $1,000 for Give Kids the World. Your company matched the funds that we raised as a running group and as a podcast group. So that was awesome of your company, Jackson, up there in Michigan. So we appreciate that so much. But I wanted to say you put out a great video. And so if people have not seen it, I retweeted it on my Twitter account. I'll do that again. I'll put it out again tonight as I'm kind of wrapping up for the evening. So just be our guest, Mike, on Twitter. I'll try to put out either tonight or tomorrow morning as well. But it was great because it shows everybody kind of coming up to the first tee, and you get to see a couple hole-in-ones. You get to, it was really the good stuff. The award ceremony we had after, some of the fun awards. But it was just a fun event had by all. And that's really what this is all about. It's not about being divisive or, this is the good stuff. This is getting together, true friendships, and just having fun. And that video just kind of showed all the fun we had. It was great.
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's what I was trying to do, was just showcase it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun putting it together. And like, I knew I wanted to do something. That's why I made sure I did the introduction for every person, because I wanted everyone that participated to be a part of like the final like video to like show others like, don't be afraid to come out to these meet and greets. It's a lot of fun. Like, I know Joe put a great event on. Unfortunately, I missed it. I was taking a nap because the full marathon was the next day. That's by the way, that Saturday is tough for me, right? Like, it's the Saturday before the full. Like,
we always have a meet that day, like in the afternoon. It's always rough.
It's rough for me because like I want to take a nap because I'm always nervous like after the half on Saturday, so like I struggle with that sometimes. But I know Joe did a great job there, and I'm already thinking of other ideas like a winter Summerland, maybe even like a Splitsville. That could be kind of interesting too, like to do like a bowling meet. Like, there's so many ways we can do it. So hope to expand on that in the future. We just need to kind of brainstorm a little bit. But thanks for the shout out, Mike. I appreciate it.
It's a great video. I've watched it a couple times. Just good memories. Okay, so we are going to get out of here. And of course, we'll do this again next Sunday night. So plan to join us 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central, right here on Facebook and YouTube. We'll take your calls. We can talk about the news of the week. Who knows what'll happen between here and there. But we're always here to, we can talk about mini trip reports. If you just got back, just like a lot of our listeners did, or, any breaking news. We'll talk about that as well. Don't forget, our show is always brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. The agents are standing by right now to help you plan a great Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, or Adventures by Disney trip. Just swing by themagicforless.com today. We'll help you from there. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link. It's beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who allow us to put these shows out many, many times every single week. We couldn't do it without you. And our patrons get that bonus show every week. It's called Mike in the Midwest. If you'd like to join us, come on over, patreon.com/Be Our Guest Podcast. Give Scott a follow on the social media at EpScott, EPSCOT, Instagram and Twitter. I'm at Be Our Guest Mike. Just give me a follow in the same places. Would love to talk to you this week. And that's really about it. We'll have our shows Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This Monday show that's coming out here within the hour, if you're tuned in live, a little bit different show this week. We speak with a gentleman who is an educator out in Washington State. And he takes a group of 14 seniors to Disneyland from Seattle down to Disneyland for a week's trip to do grad nights. One of the nights was grad nights at DCA, but they also spent some time, bouncing back and forth between the parks. We talk about traveling with 14 high school kids. It's really interesting because we got some Disneyland, the logistics of taking kids, what grad night is like, because, it's kind of evolved over the years, what it was like that night, how they take care of the teachers. I thought that was pretty cool because, these teachers have to stay there until 2 a.m. as well. They had a pretty sweet setup too. So that's going to be an interesting show on Monday. Of course, Wednesday, listener questions. Friday, the plan is to talk about Coronado Springs. We're going to dive into that, old misconceptions, I think, that are gone nowadays and some that may still be around. Where to eat, best rooms, how the resort's changed since the Grand Casino Tower, stuff like that. So we'll talk about hopefully Coronado on Friday. That's the plan as of right now. All right, so we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your week. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. We always appreciate you taking the time to listen to our show. So for Scott, I'm Mike, wishing you a great Sunday night or a great Thursday. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. Sorry about that dog barking.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're probably going to do some editing because like you muted, but I think it muted Mike as well. And so I couldn't hear either of you. And then I just started talking because like I wanted to fill in the dead air.
Well, I'll be gone then. I'll look.
So I don't know.
It was only for a couple seconds, so
yeah. So that might be a little rough. But thanks for the shout out on the video, man. Like that was a lot of fun.
The video was awesome. I played it for Pam.
I appreciate
the music you played. It sounded like Dave Brubeck.
Yeah, I know. It was awesome. So
was it Dave Brubeck or what?
No, it was just like because I don't know with like copyright stuff.
I know
how that would work. So it was just like an iMovie sample thing, So It's just on the back of iMovie. I can find it, but
No, I was just because I was telling
Yeah.
Pam, I was like, damn, it sounds just like Dave Brubeck.
so
I
Liz
love
kind
his
of
music.
Liz was like, "Oh, you could have picked a better song." I'm like, I liked it, man. I thought it was
Really?
fun. For like,
I love
yeah,
that song.
I know.
I told Pam, I was like, this song is awesome. I was
Yeah,
like,
it was just like
totally-
swinging, you know. Like,
yeah, it was. I was like, this song is perfect.
I wish you could hear it. I'll have to work on this if I do another one. Like when I'm doing like the audio, like the video clips, I thought I wanted to still be kind of lowered in the background, but I couldn't figure that out. But
Did you do like the ducking thing on iMovie? Because that's what I used to do with my kids. Like, there's a
No.
ducking thing. Like,
Okay, I'll
It's
play
cool
around with that for the
ducking.
next video. I'm not going to edit that one because I think it worked out pretty.
no,
It turned
don't
out
mess
pretty
with that
well,
one. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, if you ever do it
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
because iMovie is what I did with my students, and there was like an option. It's called ducking, and what it is when there's like audio from the video, like the source,
Yeah,
it automatically takes the music track and drops it to like 5%, and then when the
Yeah.
audio quits, it pops it back up to
Yeah.
the normal level.
yeah. I feel like you could edit that though, right? Like make it like
You can
15% or
manually,
something.
but I think
Yeah.
that's an automatic setting too. I
Okay.
think.
See, I'll play around with that. I want to do more videos like that because that's fun. Like, and I think like people at the show would love it, right? Like, you know, like
I
you
love
pop
that
on
stuff.
Facebook, you see it, or YouTube, you see a video. Like, I don't know.
Those things take a
I know
lot.
I get a kick out of that stuff.
I love it, but I just don't. I wish I had more time. I just don't.
I got the time. I'll do it.
Because those are good. Yeah, I do love doing them, but I just don't have the time to. All right, well, go eat your ham, all of it, and your
Yeah.
taters.
Ham and potatoes and corn. That's about to go down.
All right, have fun. I'll talk to you.
All right.
I'll
Yeah.
talk to you tomorrow.
All right.
right,
See you,
I'll see you.
everybody.
All right, see you. Bye.